will work on functional movements and development on my 6-year-old. And this is for Nicole, but again, all these things are for everybody. Please, I know a lot of people want to say that's my kid, but at the same time too, you need a fresh set of eyes. And Nicole, this is what you need. So one of the things that I'm sorry to say that I don't like about reflex integration, because they don't look at the whole picture. And your child is really quite visually impaired. Why? Because I don't feel like he has binocular vision, meaning the eyes work together, and he certainly has very weak convergence, and he has really big midline gaps. Having a child with neuromuscular issues, you got to get a baseline. The hips needs to be done as well, and so do the eyes. A 1-year-old exam doesn't mean anything to you, and the exam really wasn't done properly. So you need to get to an ophthalmologist and get a retinoscopy. Please don't start working with all the other stuff, that behavioral and all that. Eyes need to work. Of course, you can have behavioral issues if the eyes don't work. I get it that he has directionality, but he doesn't have good, smooth, functional vision. He also has issues within the hip structure, the right hip, and I suspect coccyvalga, and that needs to be worked on. And so that's where, again, but to say those things and not have an x-ray, you really should have had a baseline by now, especially that you're seeing these things. So when you're asking for certain reflexes and all that to come into play, the structure, you have to understand the structure. Like, my legs are all crooked, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do anything about it, but I understand my structure and how I move. And you're looking for, again, the crawl patterning. It's not going to happen with coccyvalga, and he's actually way too old to be working on the crawl, unless that's one of the ways he seems to get around. But that's where you're seeing the static jumping and things like that. Now, and again, going back to the vision, the drool, and all this kind of thing, if you don't have established vestibular system, you are going to drool. Part of the reason your mucus comes into play is because of where you are in space and how you know it. So when a child has a good vestibular system, they don't drool unless they're teething or something like that, and that's younger. Like me, if I go like this right now, I'm not going to drool. Now, if I drink and I'm impaired and I impair my vestibular system, that's when the drool happens. And part of that, again, is his depth perception and the short vision, and his issues with working with convergence really come into play and cause issues with there. So that's where you really want to start working with. You need to go as soon as you can and get, again, I have a free course, Vision in Your Child, and you can start going through that. But his if you just do something like this, but his convergence he doesn't have, and when you're doing what you think is tracking, there's such a midline gap going through the right eye, he just loses the object. And these need to be strengthened, but I can't give you a full program with you don't know the eyes. Please don't start working with prisms. He's 6 years old and hasn't had good vision. We need to settle the vision first before you start messing with the vision. I don't understand how you take a child that already has developmental issues and you mess with the eyes. He needs good, solid glasses for his script. If he needs glasses, but first of all, he needs a retinoscopy, and that needs to be done. An optometrist is just someone for glasses. You need an ophthalmologist that understands the neurology that he's going through as well as through his ocular. And I would, that's the route that needs to be done, but I can't stress enough. It has to be a retinoscopy. No cards, no teller cards, no Cardiffs, nothing like that. It needs to be done that way as a manual look into the eyes. And then as soon as we have that, we can start getting a better program that you're working on, instead of letting him still be on his own dictated development, and we can intervene more.